Welcome to your practice. My name is Mary. Thank you for joining me today. We are going to be practicing eagle pose. Let's get started. We'll begin on our backs. And you could have your knees up or your legs straight. Just find a position that's comfortable for you where you can begin to settle into your practice. Bring awareness to your breath, noticing your inhales and your exhales. Feel your back melting into your mat. Let go of any tension you might be holding. I just noticed I was holding some tension in my shoulders, so just let that go. As you're resting here, draw to mind an image of an eagle. You might have some traits that you could pull up that represent an eagle: strength, endurance, focus, a sharp eye. And as you practice today, imagine yourself as an eagle and embody the characteristics of an eagle. An eagle also represents freedom in the United States. Think about what freedom means to you. It could be political freedom, perhaps freedom to move in yoga. Sometimes our minds lock us in a prison, and yoga is a way to free ourselves from that prison that we place ourselves in. So take a couple more breaths, and then when you're ready, we're going to do a few poses on our back. So open your eyes if your eyes were closed, and draw your knees up towards your chest, and we're just going to do some bicycles with our feet. So just pedaling your feet. We'll first go forward and then reverse, loosening up the hip joints. From here, bring your arms spread wide like eagle wings. And first we're going to just draw our knees towards the right. So bring your knees towards your right hand. And then come up, and then as you exhale, move to the other side. So bring your knees towards your left arm. And breathe in as you come up. Now cross your right knee over your left knee. You can stay here. If your hips are tight, this might be a position that feels good for you. And we're just going to move over to the right like we did before, but with crossed legs, bringing bringing both knees to your right side, and then coming towards the center, and then moving towards the other side. And when you're ready to breathe in, come back to center and switch sides. So cross your left knee over right, and first move to the right, just very gently come to center, and then move to the left, and back to center. Now roll onto your side and then press yourself up to a seated position. And we'll come to a cross-legged position if that's comfortable. And we're just going to open our arms up like cactus arms. So draw your shoulders down and back. And then give yourself a big hug. So holding on to the your back. I guess you could grab onto the bones in your upper back, the scapulas. And then take a breath in, back to cactus arms. Shoulders down and back. And then just go to the other side, giving yourself a big hug. And then opening up. So we're going to come into eagle arms a couple of times during practice. So what that means is hold your arms out in front of you in cactus arms, draw your elbows together, and then cross your left arm on top of your right. So you could just come here, so you'll feel an opening in your upper back, or you could bring your palms together. And as you're in this position, you could move your elbows up a little bit to get even more of a stretch, but don't overstretch it. So just notice where your stopping point is. So next, bring your feet out in front of you. If it feels comfortable, you can cross your left leg over your right thigh. If that's too much of a stretch, you can just bring your left foot in towards your right thigh. So let's practice the eagle arms in that position. And then bring your arms out to cactus, and then just do the other side. So this time, bring your right arm over your left and come back. And let's do that with the other side. So either placing your right foot on your left thigh or inside. So right arm under left, crossing over. Breath in and out. Now open up to cactus arms. And then do the opposite. So right over left. Breath in and out and in. And then you can bring your arms down. Come to all fours. We'll do a couple rounds of cat-cow. So as you take a breath in, bring your chest forward and your tailbone up. Exhale, draw your chin towards your chest, tuck in your tailbone, arch your spine. Breathing in, chest up, tailbone up. Exhaling, really arching your spine, feeling that openness in your upper back. And come back to neutral. Now curl your toes and lift your knees off the ground. Come to downward dog with very bent knees, and actually have a short stance. So you could bring your feet up a little bit further. Feel your thighs resting on your chest. Let your neck relax. From here, really roll your shoulders outward. So feeling that openness in your upper back. Feeling the stretch in your upper back. Now look to your hands. Walk your feet up to your hands to come to halfway lift. Straight back, crown of your head forward, hands on your thighs or your shins. Now exhale, fold with very bent knees. So once again, your chest will be resting on your thighs. Let your neck relax. Take a breath here. From here, cross your left foot over your right. So it's a little awkward, keeping your knees bent. And then step up. And then just cross over your right foot over your left. I got my feet confused because they're right next to each other in weird positions. And then back to, so your feet are hip width distance apart. Now press your feet into the ground and slowly rise up, chin to chest. And then when you arrive, bring your head up, bring your arms out and up, hands overhead. Bring your hands to your heart and down by your side. So take a full deep breath in, arms out and up. Bring your hands through your heart center, tense your fingers, step your right foot back into low lunge. Plant your hands, step your left foot back into downward dog. Breathe in, come to all fours. Exhale, sink into child's pose. Breathe in, come to all fours. Curl your toes on your way to downward dog, hips high and back, let your neck relax. Look to your hands, walk your feet up to your hands to come to halfway lift with a nice straight spine, crown of your head forward. Bend your knees and forward fold. Let your neck relax. Press your feet into the earth to rise up, arms out and up. Bring your hands through heart center and down by your side. Take a full deep breath in, arms out and up. Forward fold with bent knees. Tense your fingers. Step your left foot back into low lunge. Plant your hands. Step your right foot back into downward dog. Breathe in. Come to all fours. Exhale. Sink into child's pose. Take a breath in. Come back to all fours. Curl your toes. Bring your hips high and back to downward dog. Look to your hands, walk your feet up to your hands to come to halfway lift. Hinge and forward fold, bent knees, neck relaxed. Press your feet into the earth, arms out and up. Bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. Take a full deep breath in, arms out and up. Hinge and fold, tense your fingers. Step your right foot back into low lunge. Place your right knee on the ground. Place your hands on your left knee to rise up. Bring your arms out to cactus arms. Now bring your right arm underneath your left and come into eagle position. Or if that's too much, you can have your hands crossed over, hugging yourself. Plant your hands, step your left foot back into plank. We'll just rock and plank, so moving back and forth, drawing your heels towards the back of the room and then rocking forward on the balls of your feet, drawing your navel to your spine. Lower your knees and then lower all the way to your belly, squeezing your sides with your hands as you lower, press your forehead on the mat. Rise up into baby cobra, drawing your shoulders down and back. You could even lift your hands off the floor. We'll stay here for a breath or two. When you're ready to exhale, lower your head. Breathe in, press up into all fours. Exhale, bring your hips high and back to downward dog. Look to your hands, walk your feet up to your hands to come to halfway lift. Hinge and fold. Press your feet into the earth to rise up, arms out and up. Bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. Press your feet into the earth, arms out and up. Bring your hands through heart center. Tense your fingers. Step your left foot back into low lunge. Then place your left knee on the ground. Rise up, placing your hands first on your right knee. Bring your hands towards your heart. Come to cactus arms, slight back bend, and then bring your left arm underneath your right into eagle arms. Feeling that expansion and openness in your upper back, remembering that you can move your elbows up or down depending on where your flexibility point is. Now, plant your hands, step your right foot back into plank. Lower to your knees and lower all the way to your belly, pressing your sides, resting your forehead on the mat. Press yourself up to cobra, so rising a little bit higher this time, but still keeping your shoulders down and back. Now feeling your upper back muscles working, but also feeling sensation in your lower back. Lower down to your belly, resting your forehead on the mat. Press up into all fours, curl your toes, bring your hips high and back to downward dog. We'll stay here for a couple of breaths. So draw your hips up towards the sky, your heels towards the earth, feeling length in the back of your leg, and then drawing your shoulders outward so that you feel an openness in your upper back, stretching your upper back. Look to your hands. Walk your feet up to your hands to come to halfway lift. Hinge and forward fold, still with bent knees. Let your neck relax, feeling the length in your spine. Press your feet into the earth to rise up, arms out and up. Bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. So come to the wide edge of your mat. We're going to come into very wide leg stance, and we're going to squat down into goddess pose. So start with your hands in prayer position. Now bring your right arm underneath your left and come into eagle pose. I'm going to take a breath or two here. When you're ready to take a breath in, open up into cactus arms, feeling the openness in your chest, and then do the opposite side. So left under right, and feeling the strength in your legs, feeling the openness in your upper back. And then rise up. And then we're going to turn our toes to the left. So coming into a warrior position, warrior 2, arms out by your side. So feeling the length and strength in your back leg, bending your front leg, gazing out with eagle eyes over your left fingertips. And settle in. Flip your left palm and reverse. And then exhale, cartwheel your hands down. Frame your left foot, step your left foot back into downward dog. Look to your hands, walk your feet up to your hands to come to halfway lift. Hinge and forward fold. From here, step your left foot back. We're coming back up to warrior 2, so press into your right foot. Cartwheel your hands up and settle into warrior 2 on this side. Pressing into the knife edge of your back foot to give your back leg strength and length. Focusing your gaze over your right fingertips. Flip your right palm and reverse. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down to frame your right foot. Step your left foot to meet your right to come to halfway lift. Hinge and forward fold. Press into the ground to rise up. Arms out and up. Bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. Okay, come to the front of your mat, and we're going into full eagle pose. So get your balance on your left foot. Now cross your right foot over your left, and we're going to squat down a little bit so your left knee will be bent, and curl your right foot around to the back of your left calf. So from here, you could stay here with your hands at prayer, or you can bring your right arm underneath your left and come into the full eagle pose. So from here, focus your gaze, maybe finding a spot to focus on, perhaps drawing your elbows up to feel that expansion and openness across your upper back. Notice where your breath is, and take a moment to feel all of the sensations in your body, feeling your freedom of movement in your stillness. Okay, we'll come up and unwind. Whoops. Take a full breath, arms out and up. Bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. Now take a moment here, feeling your feet pressing into the earth, and just notice the sensations in your body. Now squat down a little bit and then bring your left leg wrapping around your right. Come into prayer pose to start. And then wrap your right arm underneath your left. And come into the full expression of the pose. And I'm having a little bit of trouble balancing, so I'm going to just tent my toes on this side. My right hip is a little bit tighter than my left, I'm noticing. And maybe you might notice that in your body. So just pay attention. These asymmetrical poses are really nice to bring awareness to where we might need to do a little bit of work. And then rise up. Freedom breath here. Bring your hands to your heart and down to your sides. So now we'll come on to our mats and then all the way to your back. And we'll begin where we started. So bring your knees up and just do a couple bicycles. Bring your arms out wide like eagle's wings. Pedaling your feet forward and then backwards. And then bring your knees to the right, back to center, and to the left, and back to center. Cross your right knee over your left, and as you exhale, move to the right, back to center, and to the left, and back to center. And cross over, right knee over left, move over to the left, and back to center, and then over to the right, and back to center. Bring your knees up, and as you exhale, draw your knees to your chest. Breathe in, move your knees away, straighten your arms, and do that a couple times. So breathing in as you draw your knees to your chest. No, exhaling as you draw your knees to your chest. Inhaling as you straighten your arms. Exhale, knees to chest. Inhale, straighten your arms. Place your feet down and then come into your final resting position. That could be Shavasana with your arms out slightly to your sides, palms up, legs slightly spread, or any position where you can find stillness for the last bit of class. Begin to settle in. Notice where you may be holding tension in parts of your body. And use your breath to release tension. For example, if you notice tension in your shoulders, draw attention to your shoulders, take a breath in, and as you exhale, let the muscles of your shoulders relax. Notice your face, if you're clenching your jaw, maybe scrunching your brow. And just let the muscles of your face relax. Notice if there are any other parts of your body that you're holding tension. And just let go. As you're resting here, call to mind any instances where you might be inhibiting your own freedom. Sometimes that happens when we say, oh, I could never do that. That's not possible for me. And think about if those statements are coming from a place of truth. Is it true? What is keeping you from doing a certain thing? Is it really something outside of your control? Maybe it's something you actually have control over and you've locked yourself in a prison. Just take a moment and think about the truth of that situation. And know that you have the power to change certain situations. Rest here for a couple of moments. There's nothing else for you to do now. Just take your time and simply be. Bring awareness back to your breath. Begin to lengthen your breath, taking deep breaths in and deep breaths out. When you're ready to inhale, take a full deep breath in through your bellies, expand your wrists, ribs, open up your chest, and then let the air go out through your mouth. Let's do that one more time. Air in through your belly, expand your ribs all the way up to your chest, and let the air go. When you're ready in your own time, press yourself onto your side. You could use your right arm as a pillow, perhaps drawing your knees up towards your chest into a fetal position. Take a moment in gratitude, thanking yourself for practicing and exploring what freedom means to you. When you're ready, press yourself up into a seated position. Draw your hands to your heart. Thank you for practicing today. Namaste.